Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share with you guys a little bedroom makeover. I recently just redid my bedroom. It's nothing crazy. I didn't have a big budget to redo anything and I didn't want to go out and buy all new things, spend a lot of money on this project, and I wanted to just keep the space really simple and clean and minimal. So if you're new here, my name is Tori and I love creating videos helping you guys pursue a simple and minimalist lifestyle. That's a journey that I've really been on myself this past year, or actually more than that now. But yeah, let's get started with the video. Okay, so this is currently my bedroom with this blanket situation. I had blinds, like big long blinds, and there was nothing wrong with them. I just never liked them in this house. I loved them in our old place. They were like a blue pattern and they were super cute in our old house, but I just never liked them here. My dog's just chilling. We eventually plan on redoing these floors. They're pretty rough, but they're fine for right now. I would love to paint them, but just isn't happening. When we moved into this house, there was carpet, so we pulled the carpet up and this looks super dirty. I swear it doesn't even really look dirty in real life. But we pulled the carpet up and this was underneath, so these are fine for now. And there's obviously nothing wrong with my bedroom. I've never been happy with it. We kind of just like threw stuff together. I'm gonna see if I'm able to sell some of the stuff that I don't really like anymore. And then this gallery wall I was never happy with from like the second I put it up. I just have some laundry, some clean laundry there. And then I just like, this doesn't really go with the rest of the room. And then our ceiling looks super yellow. So I bought some ceiling paint and I'm gonna go over that. And then I'm not sure if it's just because of the yellow ceiling, but these walls have always looked kind of blue to me, and there was blue underneath, but when we painted the white, it's the same color as the rest of our house, which doesn't have a blue tint at all. So I'm not sure if these walls are gonna need an extra coat of paint or if they'll just kind of look whiter once I paint the ceiling. But I've just never really been happy with the colors in this room either. Like you can see how blue it looks over there. And it even looked blue before we did the teal accent wall. So I'm not really sure what the problem is, but I still love the teal accent wall. I still love our headboard, but I'm just gonna freshen things up a little bit and hopefully that will make this room feel much less grungy. So like I said, I didn't do anything crazy. It's not a complete like overhaul of my bedroom or anything, but I had really just felt like this room had been neglected for the past year since we've lived in this house. We had painted it, but I was never super happy with it. The ceiling desperately needed to be repainted. Our house is pretty old, and I think like years ago people probably smoked just in the bedroom. We don't have this problem in any other rooms, thankfully, but the bedroom was super discolored and like really yellow, and it always just really bothered me. It looked dirty. It didn't smell like smoke or anything, but it just felt dirty and it just needed a clean coat of paint. And then I had hung up a whole bunch of stuff on the walls and I was just never happy with stuff. It just felt like super mismatched and like not in a good way. I just didn't really like how I did anything. And then I never liked our bedding. Years and years ago, like probably 7 or 8 years ago, Quindon bought bedding, and at that point we were dating, and I had always heard that you should buy a size bigger than your bed. So if you have a queen bed, you should buy like a king size duvet and it like looks super nice. And so basically that's what he did because I encouraged him to do that, and I hated it. We actually only have a double bed, so maybe if we had a queen size bed it would be different, but we had this huge duvet and it was way too big and it always like hung on the floor and it just looked messy and it was super hard to make our bed, and I don't really like duvets to start with. I thought maybe if I gave it a chance and like used it for a while I would like it, and I've been using this duvet for 3 years and I have hated it every single day of those 3 years. So it was finally time to get rid of the duvet and go back to like a synthetic duvet instead of a real down duvet. And then our bedroom also didn't have any curtains. It did have curtains, but I didn't really like them, so I decided to sell them recently, and they were really nice. They just didn't really go in this space nicely. They were from our old house. But I was able to sell those, and the original ones were quite expensive curtains, so then I just went to IKEA and bought some new ones. So the money I made from the originals almost covered the whole cost of the new curtains, so that was really nice. And then I also sold a whole bunch of stuff. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I've been selling so much stuff lately. And basically the money that I've made selling stuff was enough to basically cover this whole room makeover. So I spent about $200 to redo my room, and that included paint and new bedding. So I feel like that's really good, even though I hate spending like a big amount of money. That's like nothing. I feel like some people do a room makeover and spend like $3,000. So I'm really happy with it. Obviously you can see a sneak peek of it behind me, but I'll show you more of it soon. I started out by repainting the ceiling. This was a brutal job, and I've had a sore back lately to start with, so my back and my shoulders were killing me doing this job. I've put off painting the ceiling the entire year we've lived here because I knew it was going to be brutal, and then I was like, no, I'm probably exaggerating in my head, like it probably won't be as bad as it is, and It was brutal. I hated every second of it. It was so painful, but it looks so nice, which is something that I've always taken for granted before, but it just makes such a difference. I just keep staring at the ceiling because it looks so much cleaner in here. And then because I had a whole bunch of things hung up on one wall, when I took those all out, there was all little holes, and it wasn't horrible, but I did decide to patch all of those up, and then I repainted. I actually ended up doing basically a whole coat of paint in my whole room, which I wasn't really planning. That was kind of annoying. But I had the paint and it just needed like a really light coat, so it wasn't the end of the world. But the paint in here all looks beautiful now. It looks so white and it like matches the rest of our house instead of looking like it's blue. I also painted the trim on our window, which for some reason we just never painted. We intend on replacing our windows like quite soon, so I think we just didn't paint the trim because we figured we'd be pulling it all out anyway. But the trim was this like nasty peach color, and it was usually covered because I often don't even open the curtains in our bedroom throughout the day. I just forget, but it just looked messy and old, so I painted those all white, and now they just kind of blend in. You don't really even see the trim at all, which I feel like is kind of the goal, and it looks so much nicer. And then I picked up some white curtains. They're the exact same curtains that I have everywhere else in my house. I believe they're the Lenda curtains from IKEA. I'll link them down below for you guys. I love these curtains. They have like a linen look, and like I said, I have these hanging up everywhere in my house. They're the only curtains that I've purchased, and I'm super happy with them. And they're not blackout shades, but I actually like having some light come into my bedroom in the mornings. It helps me wake up naturally. So next summer it might be annoying because we have super long days in the summer. Like it starts getting light out at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and it's light until almost midnight. So we might find it too bright then, but honestly I'm just going to deal with that when it comes. Right now it's perfect because it's just kind of getting light when I want to be waking up naturally anyway. They honestly just let in the perfect amount of light. They let in light while still being super private and nobody can see in the curtains, so I have them in my living room which overlooks the road, and I just really like that nobody can see me inside at night. And then next I repainted my bedside tables. I've had these tables for probably over 10 years. My grandpa actually made them for me when I was a teenager, and he's not alive anymore, and I just have such a hard time getting rid of them. I would love kind of a different style table in this room, but those tables just have a lot of meaning to me, and I've repainted them. I think this may have been the 5th time or maybe the 4th time. So I repainted them again. I didn't actually intend on leaving the drawer wood how it is, but I honestly just kind of liked it. And I had a really hard time choosing a color to paint these for this room because the wall that they're on is painted. It was kind of hard to like figure out how to do that, but I'm happy with how they look, and I'll keep them like this for now. Maybe I'll paint them again someday. And then obviously we kept the same headboard, and our bed is in the same spot. I thought about putting it somewhere else, but honestly this spot just makes the most sense for the bed. And then as far as artwork, I didn't buy anything new, but I took everything off the walls, and basically things all went back in different places, and we honestly just have less artwork in here. I love that it has like a super minimal and simple look. We do have one big white wall that is completely empty, which I feel kind of weird about because I kind of feel like it needs something, but I'm honestly just liking how simple it looks, so I think I'm going to keep it that way for now. And then I decided against hanging anything above my bed because I feel like our headboard is kind of the focal point anyway. And then for bedding, like I said, I got my duvet and my duvet cover from IKEA, and they were super affordable, and I'm really happy with them. I love just like the subtle stripe on my duvet cover. Before we had white, and I liked the white, but I was kind of wanting something different, but because our wall is such a bold color, I felt like we needed something super subtle and neutral. So I feel like it's kind of like the perfect in between like white and like a pattern or a different color. So I'm really happy with the bedding. And then I did buy a couple big like European shams to put on the bed, and then I just used the other cushions that we had before. And I would love to find like a really pretty bold colored like bedspread thing to put at the foot of my bed just to kind of give it a pop of color, but I'm not in a rush to find that. If something comes up eventually, I would love to find something like that, but for now I'm really happy with how the bedding looks, and it's so comfy. I love it so much more than down duvets. Does anybody else just like not really like sleeping with down? Like I feel like that's what everyone is obsessed with, and I hated it. I'm also allergic to it, but I feel like I kind of got over that, but still just not my favorite. I don't really like the heavy feeling when I'm sleeping. And then I also decided to put a curtain over our closet. We made like a built-in closet, and it doesn't have any doors, and I don't really want doors on it because I feel like it would be awkward and they would just like get in the way all the time. So we're happy to not have doors on it, and we honestly keep it pretty tidy in there. But I hung up a curtain, and it'll be nice to just be able to close that, especially because that's what we look at. Like if we're sitting in bed, we can see the closet, and I just have always found that it looks like cluttered, really only because it's all different colors, and then there's like shoes in there. So I actually stole the curtain that was in the guest room, I had it covering that closet, but I took it into our master bedroom, so I'll probably have to buy a new one for the guest room eventually, but obviously we don't have guests like all the time, so it's not a huge priority. Okay, and then lastly, I just hung up a plant in the corner. I never really had plants in here. I did have the one ZZ plant, which I put back in the same spot. I used to have a snake plant, but I felt like the snake plant was wanting a little bit more light. Like I said before, I always forget to open the curtains in my bedroom. They just kind of stay closed for the day, so it has to be something that is low light. The ZZ plant is super happy in here, but I also just hung up a pothos plant in the corner, and I'm just gonna have to be good about making sure that it gets sunlight. But I'll just watch it. If it seems like it's not happy there, then I'll move it, but I really wanted a plant in here. It was also always hard because our wall is teal. I just felt like green leaves with the teal would be weird, but I just decided to go for it, and I really like the look of the hanging plant in the corner, and it's so good for the air, especially when you're sleeping and stuff. So I'm happy to have another plant in here. So that's my bedroom makeover. Like I said, it was super simple and definitely budget friendly, and I just really love how like minimalist and clean my bedroom is feeling now, and I really didn't have to spend a lot of money to get that feeling. So I'm so happy with it. Let me know in the comments below if you guys like it. If you guys enjoyed this video, I would love if you could just hit thumbs up, as that allows more people to see my content and it just really helps me out. And if you're new here, I would love if you could subscribe to this channel and join this little community here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again in a few days.